Hey guys, it's Aman
And Christina
from Our Rich Journey. On today's video, we are going to talk about the reasons why you should start a business here in Portugal. Now, if you know our story, if you've been following along, you know that Christina and I retired about 3 years ago and moved here to Portugal. And we have been living our best life here. The quality of life, the people, everything, every single experience that we've had here in Portugal has just been amazing. And recently, we have been meeting so many people that have also made the decision to move here to Portugal. But they aren't moving here as early retirees like us. They are moving here to start businesses. And the more and more people that we talk to, we are starting to realize that there are so many benefits to starting a business here. In fact, Portugal offers a lot of incentives for people to come here and start a business. And so in this video, we want to talk about the 5 reasons why you should consider starting a business here in Portugal.
So this is a really exciting time here in Portugal because I think a lot of people, when they think about coming from a foreign country and moving to Portugal, they have to do it under some sort of retirement visa or retirement scheme. But that is not the case. People can actually move here and start a business in Portugal. And so we are gonna talk about these 5 different incentives or different reasons why we would encourage people to think about leaving wherever they're from, coming to Portugal and starting a business here. Now, before we get into that, if you are new to our channel is all about making, saving, and investing money on the road to financial independence. So if you are interested in learning more about those things and also about our life here in Portugal, make sure you subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram, and check out our blog at ourrichjourney.com. So let's get into why you should consider starting a business here in Portugal. And let's first start off with some numbers. So in 2021, the number of foreigners living in Portugal was more than 700,000. And if you're looking specifically at Americans in Portugal, the number doubled in 2021. So there were about 7,000 Americans living here in Portugal last year in 2021. Now, Aman and I have experienced these numbers firsthand. In the last year alone, we've met so many different entrepreneurs that have come here to Portugal to start their businesses. They've started bakery businesses, restaurants, tour companies, event planning companies. There's so many different people that are coming here and starting businesses in Portugal. And so that's why we wanted to create this video talking about potentially starting a business here in Portugal, because a lot of people may be in a situation where they're living in some other country and it's very difficult for them to get a business started. But here in Portugal, there are a lot of incentives for entrepreneurs. So let's start off with the first reason why you should consider starting a business here in Portugal.
The first reason, and this is the reason why we moved to Portugal, is the people. If you are going to start a business in any foreign country, it's so important that the people of that country are also your allies in starting that business. And what I mean by that is if you are going to come to Portugal, you are going to require an attorney, an accountant. You may even need staff to help run your business. And it's so important that you're able to find people that are qualified and that are inspired to help you build your business.
So if you're an expat moving to Portugal and you want to start a business, it's very important that you are able to communicate with the people in the country that you move to. Here in Portugal, English is very predominant. In fact, 61% of Portuguese people speak English. So in our case, we actually started an Airbnb business. We have one Airbnb property and we are starting a second one that we'll be sharing in the future. But for us, it was really important to be able to communicate very easily with our attorney, with our accountant, with our staff, and being here in Portugal allowed us to do that.
So whatever business you decide to start, Portugal has the people that can help support that business. Whether it's engineers, architects, if you are starting some sort of computer technology company, Portugal has people qualified here to do that.
And this brings us to reason number 2, which is Portugal's infrastructure. If you are moving to a foreign country to start a business, you want to make sure that it has safe and reliable infrastructure. So Portugal actually has very modern and advanced infrastructure. And because of this, a lot of tech startup companies are flocking to Portugal to start up their businesses. In fact, Portugal has some of the best technological services here in Europe.
But it goes beyond the technological infrastructure. And Portugal also has some of the most advanced transportation networks that we have seen in Europe. We're talking about roads, trains, planes, whatever the case may be. If you need that infrastructure to support your business from a logistical standpoint, Portugal has all of those things covered. So the next reason you might want to consider starting a business in Portugal are the tax incentives and laws. Now, Christina and I have lived all over the world. We lived throughout the US, we've lived in parts of Asia, and we've also lived in other parts of Europe. And we can tell you from experience that starting a business in other places can be long, expensive, and very bureaucratic. But here in Portugal, the process is relatively smooth. Depending on the business that you have, you may be able to start and get your business approved in one day.
So that is the bureaucracy of starting a business. But there are also tax incentives here in Portugal. And this dates back to 2008 because of the financial crisis. In response to this, the Portuguese government tried to think of ways to incentivize businesses to come here, develop their businesses, and create economic growth here in Portugal. And one of the ways they did this was by encouraging people to come to Portugal and set up businesses by giving them tax incentives. So again, Portugal is really trying to develop sustainable businesses here in the country, and those tax incentives are a way to do that. So for example, Portugal has legal mechanisms in place to really ensure that double taxation doesn't occur here in Portugal and in the country that you're coming from. So other things include things like exemptions, rate reductions like a reduced VAT rate, deductions from taxable income, accelerated depreciation, and other tax incentives. So the next reason is that the financial and banking system here in Portugal is sound, and it's also very easy to use. So Portugal is a Eurozone country. It means that Portugal uses the euro here, which also means that not only does Portugal operate its currency system here, but the currency is also operated and managed by the European Central Bank.
Portugal's banking system is also very sophisticated. With a network of banks and ATMs, it makes it very easy for foreigners to use the banking system here. If you are transferring currency from your country into Portugal, it is a very easy process. And even getting a loan here in Portugal as a foreigner is an easy process.
And one more thing to add about banking. In the United States, you have your accounts that are FDIC insured. That's similar to how it is here in Portugal under an EU directive that allows for EU banks to also provide a similar type of insurance for money held within their banks.
And our fifth and final reason to start a business here in Portugal is the overall quality of life is amazing. If you guys have been following our journey, you have seen how we are just loving living here in Portugal. The quality of life is by far some of the best we've ever experienced. And like I said, we have lived all over the world. And so if you are gonna come here and start a business, you are gonna experience amazing weather, amazing food, amazing people, just so many things that we could go on and on about. In fact, we have a video dedicated to all of the amazing reasons why you should just move to Portugal. So if you are considering starting a business here, this is a major reason why you should consider doing it. Because we have talked to so many other people that tried to start a business in their home country and found it cumbersome, hard, and challenging, and stressful. And they made the decision to move to Portugal to start a business, and their whole lives have changed for the better. And it is because of this quality of life.
So we made this video because a lot of our videos are focused on retiring early and living here in Portugal. But we understand that a lot of people don't have that option. But there is that option of still moving to Portugal and starting a business here. We think it is a great opportunity to enjoy the quality of life, and we think that there are so many incentives to move here and start a business here in Portugal. So if you are interested in moving to Portugal, we actually have a Moving to Portugal course that walks you through things like tax incentives and visas and all of the other things that you need to know in order to get approval to move here in Portugal. We will leave a link for that course in the description below, or you can also just go to ourrichjourney.com. And of course, we encourage you to go through all of our other videos that are focused on Portugal if you have an interest in moving here. But for this specific video, if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and
Join the journey.